Hello, everyone. This is Michael Mirdad, and we have this program. We've had this program for years, several years now. It's called Friday Night Spiritual Insights with Michael Mirdad. And today's topic, we're going to talk about letting go. And we have to understand that letting go is always a form of death, and death is always a form of letting go. So really, it's a matter of adapting to not feeling in control of our lives. It's so hard for people to let go because so often, if something's going, it's either going with regret, it's going when we couldn't control it, it's going when often there's some negative kind of feelings about it, and if you loved it and it was wonderful, it's hard to let it go. So letting go is such a challenging thing. And people always just flippantly say, well, just let it go. If you had childhood trauma, well, why don't you just let it go? It's not at all a decent way of responding to people that have had, hurt in their lives. And I often see life so multidimensionally. So to me, you have groceries, you use the groceries, you throw the trash away, you let it go. You don't usually chase the trash man down the street after they've picked up the container, right? So in that sense, it seems kind of easy. The digestive system, you digest food, just like life, you digest experiences, and then you assimilate the nutrients from it. That's what you're supposed to do anyway, if you're reasonably healthy. And then you let go. The elimination system is about letting go what you don't need. And, the body, nor the soul for that matter, but the body and soul do not long for what was flushed away. But humans are so non-organic. They don't seem to go with the Zen, the Tao of life. They come up with all kinds of reasons to not be at peace. And it's a great process and a great enlightening moment to come to the idea of, I think it's time to let this go now. And many of us have let things go, and then they kind of haunt us. Because when the body goes, there's the ghost body. So when you let something physical go in your life, there's the ghost of it left. All things, some more haunting than others, but all things, they're like ghosts are like, often they're like memories. And the reason some of them seem to have power haunting people is because those people have unhealed wounds that those ghosts can sort of latch onto and feed off of. So with life's experiences, it's a matter of, if we clear ourselves, like if we're healthy enough, we would digest properly, then integrate or assimilate properly, and we would eliminate properly. It would just be a natural, simple, easy, and steady process. But humans, it's like an experience comes in. Wait, I don't like that experience. And then we fight it. Now, if you're fighting it, you're tense, you can't assimilate properly. Now you can't see clearly enough to integrate what value, what you can learn from that experience that may not have been nice, but you can't learn because you're all off center. You're off. As they say, you can't digest properly if you're stressed. So the digestion isn't going well. You didn't, it's a metaphor, right? You didn't break down the foods properly or break down the experience properly, kind of knowing what end is up and what's going on. And then now I'm not assimilating properly. Now elimination can go one direction or the other, you get stuck constipated, or the opposite, eliminating too much and nutrients and fluids go. So use that simple concept when it comes to life. Relationships. When you ate a certain thing in life, you can kind of go, that tastes bitter. In life, when we get in relationships that are bitter, we fight it. We try to pretend it isn't bitter. Well, but it feels bitter if I ingest something, so maybe I spit it out, or it's gone sour, I spit it out. My relationship, it's gone sour, it's gone bitter. Maybe talk about it, which is the equivalent of, spit this out. What I mean by that is spit out. What are you trying to say? Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you did this and it's all yours. And you put the food, you took the food. It's, maybe somebody else didn't know that it was going sour. You noticed it. So do something with it. What are you trying to say? Spit it out. Come on. And try to go and work with people, if it's workable, to resolve things. Talk about how you're feeling. This is where I'm at. And now don't do that in the gratuitous way, well, here's how I'm feeling, and then be offended if they don't agree. If you really are truly understanding what it means to say, here's where I'm coming from, then you wouldn't be upset if they don't get it. Just own it all the way anyway. I didn't say you'd get it. I said, this is where I'm coming from. That's what you can say. So you take time and you say, this is where I'm coming from. I'm getting this out. I don't want to ingest this experience. If I do, what's going to happen to my body? It might have an adverse reaction. It's the same with life. If I go ahead and just take on this relationship and swallow my experience, swallow my pride, swallow my whatever, my hurts and thoughts and feelings, it's probably not going to go well. Now, what's really sad about human beings is once they get into a pattern, they really have a hard time breaking it, eliminating it. So, we get going on this trend of, well, I'm just going to, hang in there. Maybe it'll change on its own. You ingested poison and you figure, I don't know, maybe my liver will just handle it. Kidneys will just handle it. It's kind of a silly and self-abusive thing to try to do. So try to catch these things as soon as possible. Maybe you didn't catch on till it reached your stomach. Maybe you didn't catch on till it reached the stages of integration or assimilation. Maybe you didn't catch on till elimination. Maybe you didn't catch on till a week after. But at some point, just if you have one goal in your life, can you make it this to try to catch stuff sooner? I mean, just catch it way back here at the start and not let it click on through. It's not that challenging. But why don't people do that automatically? Why is that not like an organic, simple experience? Because people don't want to. People have a tendency to want to live in denial, and for all kinds of reasons. But one reason I might hold stuff in is because I want to resent you. Another, because I want to make you the blame. I don't want to be the blame or the responsible one. So it's convenience, which we've done a talk on recently about the positive and negative version of convenience. But also people don't want to look at it because it might take work. And so on and so on. There's, people want to just block these things instead of going, well, what's really going on here? Do I really want to deal with a relationship? I'd rather have one that's dysfunctional and I know it's here than one that I say goodbye to and it's gone. I'd rather have something here. And again, that's all human weakness. There are these tendencies to sabotage ourselves, try to deny it, try to blame others, but it just doesn't do us any good. So take time to consider this. Is there anything in my life that I really should consider letting go of? Is there anything that's sour, bitter, uneasy, tense? Then I'm not saying dump everybody and everything. I'm saying address it. Something, sour, something bitter. I've told people, friends, if they thought I said something that hurt their feelings, or if I said something that they took a certain way, God, it's shocking to me that you would hold that in. You thought I said that? I didn't say it. I meant this. Oh, okay. And it's just like so sad when they choose to hold on to it and not say something, because then they're not clearing it. Now I have to ask myself, were they simply afraid because they're afraid to speak in life? Or were they wanting to actually hold on to that and believe there was a problem that wasn't there. Because if that's the case, then they're going to eventually try to take the whole relationship into hell, finding problems and not talking about them. Anytime you have a situation, a relationship of any kind, and people don't want to talk about it, and I've done talks just on that, but danger, danger, man, danger. Now, again, someone might have been heavily abused. They might have been abused by you or oppressed by you or by other people in their life. They might have a rational reason to not want to talk, to share. But if it's me, I have to say to myself, even if I have a tangible, rational reason to be afraid, intimidated to speak due to abuses or suppressions, oppressions, or whatever, do I want to stay that way? Really? Do I want to stay in this state of, lump in my throat or choking or burned, just the issues where we have throat or jaw issues, clenching issues, because we're holding in all this tension. Do I want to stay that way? What's the worst case scenario? I'm going to just responsibly and lovingly throw it out there. Hey, listen, this is kind of where I'm at. And does that work for you? Guys, if they don't want to work it, eliminate it. It being maybe them. Never let anybody go with hatred. I don't usually take a bag of trash out to the garbage can going, oh, I hate you. It's trash. It's worthless, essentially. Take it out to the trash can and it's gone, and there we go. I don't need to go out with the garbage. I'll just go ahead and stay in my home, let it go, and I get to move on. But if I can do that with garbage, why can't I do it with life's garbage? Things might have been hurtful. And for those moments, for any of us, I'm very sorry for that. From the heart and soul of humanity, I'm very sorry about that. It's crazy the things we do to ourselves and to each other, but it is not serving us to deal with, deal with it in such a self-destructive way. Practice the good death, practice elimination. Whatever that means to you in terms of die the good death, let things go. Take some time to write a list. I was just talking to one of our groups this week about this, but take some time to write a list of hurts, traumas, dramas, hurts, neglects, rejections, etc. Just whatever, make a list of them. Even if you think yours are minor, if they come up when you're tuning into any hurts, any regrets, any shames, make a list of them. When you're done, take the items off the list, put them one each on each Post-it. Might have to have a whole box of Post-its for this, maybe not. But put each of them on a Post-it you can burn at the end of the year or whenever you'd like to. But let yourself take some time to really think about each of those. And that letting go, that goodbye exercise, that letting things be, disconnecting, cutting cords from the power, the relationship they had in our lives. Again, I'm not saying just our compulsion should be that there should be a compulsion to just quickly dump everyone, let everybody out of our lives. I'm saying try to speak first, because that's also a form of eliminating. I'm letting things out vocally. And don't do it with attack. Don't do it with hurtful intention. Don't do it with revenge in mind. Do it with a thought of, if every wound, hurt, betrayal, regret, shame, pretend for a moment, if every one of those is a ghost, and every one, every shame, not just shame, you have shame, let's say, as a ghost, but what if every single shame is a ghost? Guys, man, we're living in the haunted mansion. Some really, bad nightmare. because they are ghosts. That's why, when you dream at night, you're so often dreaming stuff that you just, this collage of, incomprehensible material. It's because it's all the ghosts coming in and dancing their dance. And in there, there's always God's hand trying to speak through it all. We can't hear because there's this, this bizarre circus of nuttiness. What if I empty my cup? And what, again, the topic, elimination. What if I empty my cup? What if I say goodbye to all the ghosts? And you should ask yourself, how do I feel about letting them all go? You might say, wait a minute. Oh my God, I would be so bored, so lonely. That's worth looking at. Might even want to let that one go. But let's get to a place where saying goodbye, to a place where elimination is very natural. It's very organic. Before you eliminate, though, remember to ingest better things in life. But you can't just expect to do that. If you have a habit, a pattern, an addiction of some kind, you're not going to just go quickly to switching to positives. If you've ingested a bunch of garbage, toxic, poisonous material, then you go, whoa, I just ingested a whole bunch of toxic material. I think I'll have something like a healthy green drink. It's not going to go well. Well, why? It's all nutrition. That's not the point. What you already are filled with is garbage. So trying to just throw something in healthy doesn't work. Try to eliminate. Try to get rid. Make room for good in your life. Choose something better in your life. It's not that challenging. But if I want to choose a better life, I've got to say goodbye to the one that wasn't a better life. Make room for your good. And it's time, it's time to say, God, if I'm 50 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old, 60 years old, and I was abused at 10, I've allowed those ghosts to haunt me all these years. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to let go of the cellular memory and emotional hurt from all that. I'm saying I can say to myself, I refuse to hate anybody involved, although their actions and so forth are disgusting. You can say that. I refuse to hate them. One reason I can refuse to hate them is I have no idea what that was about. I have no idea where they were coming from. So I'm not even going to try. What I do know is if I try to make sense out of it, it has no sense. It's senseless behavior. Anybody that has ever caused you wounds, including yourself, was not in their sane mind at the time. So do you really want to sit there and try to make sense of that which is insane? That's also a control freak, by the way. I have to get this to make sense. I have to get them to confess. I have to get them. I'm not saying sometimes that's not appropriate. I'm saying have to creates more tension in me. More tension in me means I cannot ingest and digest. I cannot assimilate and eliminate properly. I will make myself sick. So you don't usually drink poison and expect someone else to die from it. You don't drink the poison of your past and expect those who hurt you to die from it. That's not going to get them back. It's not going to get revenge on them. What you'll do is destroy more and more of yourself. So take time, make a list, the hurts, make a commitment to disconnect from them. I refuse to hate them. I wonder what I can learn from any of these. I can learn maybe to be a better parent myself. I can learn not to hold this in so long. I can learn that I should have trusted a counselor sooner. Maybe I can do that now. I can learn that not all men or women are bad. Just maybe that one. I can learn whatever from it. That now suddenly becomes light bulb. Oh, I learned something. Do you know what you just did? You gave value to something that's valueless, not in the negative sense. I'm saying you turned it around and made it into nutrients that otherwise were, just simply empty nutrient empty foods, bioacidic foods or biostatic foods. They were worthless. You ingested them, but now all of a sudden, that's called magic. In a good sense, that's a miracle. You took an event that was worthless and you manifested nutrients in that food. I don't know of anybody who can do that. I don't know of any nutritionist who can tell you that magically they're going to create nutrients in food that is kind of junk food. It takes a miracle to do that. And so in my life, I'm going to go ahead and let a miracle happen. What can I gain from this? Now I gained. Now wow. I'm not saying you're making the event positive. It was hurtful, but I'm learning something from it. So I have value, not it. I gave myself value from what I learned from the event. That's the second step. The third step, this is often, this is discussed a bit in my book. It's called The Book of Love and Forgiveness. But the third step in this forgiveness process is do your best to just affirm that everybody has a spark of light in them. You can acknowledge that they didn't see that. They didn't live. When they were doing things hurtful to you, they were not coming from that spark. That's not my business. I'm just affirming there's a spark. Good riddance. Hope you nurture that spark soon. I'm simply affirming that it's there. Do those 3 steps. Many of you have heard me say this many times. Forgive me for the redundance, but refuse to hate, learn what you can, and the third step, affirm light. When you do that, all of this thing that is a body that ingests, digests, that assimilates and eliminates, it comes to peace and things start changing in your body. A vertebra pops into place on its own that was out of place. Muscles can relax. You can, because you're more relaxed, you can breathe differently. You can receive a massage instead of getting one. Getting a massage, receiving a massage. Instead of going through life experiences, you're there, you're present, you're awake, you're aware. You don't just have Christmas lights that are off. They turn on. Everything starts kind of awakening. And when that happens, it's like the systems all fire up like, wow, Mr. President, we're back online. It's like, wow, everything kind of opens up. But it will help you if eliminate those words, get those words out somehow, share, talk. Let go of experiences that have no nutrients, that have no value. Let go of them. The forgiveness steps I said, let go of them. And let the dead bury the dead. The dead me, the one that no longer exists, let that lie and sleep and die and pass away with those past experiences. Let the dead bury the dead. Krishna said it, Jesus says it, but one of the ways it's worded is, the wise lament not for the living nor the dead. To not sit in a state of regret. I'm so sorry that people have been so selfish and hurtful to any of us, but I would like to build a new life. Many of us have had so many hurts and didn't eliminate properly, assimilate as well, but eliminate properly. Many of us have had so many hurts, we descended into low self-worth, addiction, self-abuse in so many ways, and then patterns of relationships that were not at all lovely. And I could say for myself, as a healer for so many years, I've heard and seen much. And I don't know how many thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people I've had sessions with, but I've seen a whole lot. And sometimes it's taxing in a way. Sometimes it's like, wow, but I still, even us as healers, we still have to look at the body of work, the body of hurts that have happened, take them collectively and say, social workers especially, hold it a minute. All right. I guess while I was working, I inhaled or I ingested some of the toxicity in the nuclear plant. of life. Oops, now it's affecting my system. Let me ask the Spirit of God to help me break this down properly. Why was I there? In what way did I take on too much myself? Break it down. What can I learn from this? Well, to check in a little more, not go too far, not to breathe in too many of the fumes of the toxic environment, not to take it on. See, that's being overly sympathetic in a negative sense. And then now that I did that process, I can eliminate all that toxicity that I had absorbed in my being. So be careful. If you're a healer, if you're a parent and you dealt with children that were kind of off and getting hurt, do your best, guys. Find your home, find your place, find your center again in God. No great healing, no great ingesting, assimilating, or eliminating is done in the highest sense without being in our center in God. God has the ability, whether you call it the Holy Spirit or the Divine Mother or the Christ, God has the ability to say, I love you so much. Let me help you with the whole process. Let me be your digestion and so on and so on. Let me be that with you. Let me help you. I know exactly what you would benefit from in terms of assimilating nutrients. Let me help you assimilate. We try to fix ourselves, and that's still self-abuse, even though it sounds like it's a good thing. Why would you want to do that without the greatest guide? Why would, I understand you think you can do surgery on yourself. I just don't think it's the most advisable thing. Just relax. Let Spirit come in and do soul surgery on you. Let go, let God. You can't if you don't trust God. And you can't if you don't trust yourself. And you can't if you don't trust others. I didn't say trust untrustworthy parts. Trust the trustworthy parts. But anytime you feel a zing, anytime you feel a hurt, a jab, oh, geez, I guess I got a little work to do. And it only takes seconds. The only reason we exaggerate it, make it seem like it's too much for you to deal with, for me to deal with, is because you don't really want to let it go. You want to be pissed. So you're going to, why, and oh my God, oh, this is terrible. And what a day and terrible, and get obsessed on it. That's not good for your system with food, nor with life experiences. Just the whole why and whine and why and why and tension, too much. You're hurting yourself. I recommend, I got it. Something's happening and it's triggering. And I don't want to go too far into the darkness with it. I don't want that to get too far into my system. A good herbalist knows you don't just have herbs that tonify organs. You don't just have herbs that stimulate immunity. There are, herbs for purging as well. If you've eaten something toxic, you drink it and it'll help you purge it out. Doesn't sound fun, so don't. Just keep it down. Let it go and affect and toxify other parts of your life. That's what this is about, this whole talk. People are afraid of the purging. Get it over with. Animals know if they've eaten something bad, they won't eat so that something can finish going through, or they might eat something that makes them vomit. So what is this talk about? All I'm asking you to do is be as intelligent as your dog. Okay, so hope this made sense. And these Friday nights, we do all kinds of different topics, typically related to self-help and so forth. But today I just wanted to sort of do a few pieces of topics woven together, sort of weaving together topics and things that have been going on in the world and people's questions and so on lately. Metaphor of health, I guess, popped in there because a lot of people are struggling with health. The metaphors of, calling God because of the deep work we've been doing in a lot of my groups in terms of communing with God. So I can see where it's all kind of piecing together. I can also I just noticed I'm wearing a green shirt. Green, very healing. So bless you all. Thank you for watching. And I hope this is reaching you on a really deeply personal level. I really do. And I'm so grateful for those of you who have sessions or that are friends and chat with me about things and allow yourself to go to a real deep place, being honest with yourself, a real deep place of healing and not being afraid of that sort of thing. There's no reason to be afraid. And if you think there is, work on those pieces and find a safer place, but you must let go of things. Let go, let God. All right. You can join us for these Fridays, Friday night presentations, 5:30, always Arizona time. So check what that is for you, because we're different than everybody else in more ways than one here in Sedona. And also, you got Sunday services. All these things, almost everything I do is free. I do workshops once in a while, a couple a year is all, and then I do some online presentations with a fee. But most of my talks, lectures, they're free. But guys, if you want to donate, it's so much appreciated. It it just keeps everything going. It helps me to afford all the help, and then also we'd like to ramp some things up. Um, uh, some social what do you call it, social media. There's some things we want to ramp up, but we have to afford that. So if you feel called, make a donation as you can, however, whatever you can afford. And we appreciate your generosity. All right, so God bless you all. We'll see you very soon. Peace be with you. Bye bye.